Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Hunaktu Sahaviryang Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahi Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harih Om. I welcome you all for this session of Bhagavad Gita, which was conducted at the Hindu temple of Allentown from teachers from Arshavidya Gurukulam. Now we have gone online courtesy Arshavidya Gurukulam channel. We are looking into the fourth chapter, and in the fourth chapter we are on which sloka? Can anyone say? So we are in the 22nd shloka. And so this shloka, this chapter is regarding jnana karma, the jnana behind karma. And we saw in the beginning of this chapter how this knowledge has been given by Bhagavan Sri Krishna to Surya Bhagavan, Sakshat Surya Bhagavan himself, right? So now we have come to the point where in the last shloka, we saw what was the last shloka. What was the 21st shloka? The 21st shloka is Nirashiryata Chittatma Tyakta Sarva Parigraha Shariram Kevalam Karma. Shariram Kevalam Karma. Who would do that? That would be done by someone who has given up all Laukika Karma. So before this shloka, in the 20th shloka, we saw about people who are all like you, professionals taking different roles. We saw about them. And what did we see? We saw that was in the 20th shloka. Let me quickly see that because there's some nice connections, right? Tyakta karma phala sangam nityatripto nirashrayah karmani abhi pravrittopi. Api shabda is there, means even if this laukika person is doing so many activities, naiva kinchit karoti saha, it is equivalent to, it doesn't affect him being akarta atma. He, with the same freedom, he would be able to, with the new freedom, he would be able to do the same group of activities that we saw the 20th shloka. 21st shloka, this is regarding a sannyasi. What is he doing? Shariram kevalam karma. He is only performing activities for the sake of maintaining himself. Yes, that doesn't mean don't worry about what activities he'll be doing. That will be seeing. But the point is he is free from, he has given up all activities. The Tyaga Buddhi, he is not competing anymore. He is giving abhaya. Abhaya means protection to all the beings by not being competing. And even for a thief, he would give abhaya. So there are stories like that. So one person goes to a great rishi, and he has been chased by some people. So he said, Rishi, I want to hide here. Please save me. Please protect me. So when the Rishi has to provide abhayam, the Raja also has to provide abhayam when someone comes and seek refuge. Here, the Rishi has to also provide abhayam, but the Rishi cannot take up to arms. He cannot take up to all the weapons and try to provide abhayam. So this person is hiding in the Rishi's place. The Rishi doesn't know much about that person, and he is not even asking about all that. So he saw he was being chased, and he knew that from seeing those people who are chasing this person, he knew that this person's life is in danger. So they come and they ask this Rishi, hey Rishi, speak the truth. Did you see someone passing by? Did you see someone who has come here? We are chasing somebody. The Rishi, he thought for a second, And then he explained like this. He said, the eyes which see cannot speak, and the mouth which can speak cannot see. So he gave some reply like that. What I'm trying to say is this is sannyasi who has given up all tyaga. So I'm just saying even giving up is not so easy. Giving abhaya without anything is not so easy. And the rishis, therefore loka sangrahartam, they have taken up to that kind of a giving up. Now, for that sannyasi, he has to also conduct himself. Shariram kevalam karma, we saw in the previous shloka, he would be performing some sharira maintenance, for the maintenance of the sharira, for the maintenance of the body, he would be performing some karma we saw in the last verse. Now we have to see, then Bhagavan, Sri Krishna Bhagavan is beautifully saying in the next shloka, which is what we are going to see today, what are those karmas? Because what all he would need for his sharira, to maintain his deha, to maintain his little health, and not out of fear. Just because Bhagavan has given this, he doesn't want to put an end to it artificially. Let it take its natural course. And in the meantime, I'll be so happily with this knowledge, performing my japa, tapa, yajna, japa, tapa, and all those little rituals, just for the sake of doing something very meaningful, helping others and all that. So then he has to maintain himself, right? So he would need food, he would need some minimum clothing, some little shelter. What else he would need? He would need a pair of sandals, shoes, so all these things he would need, right? Now for the sake of all these things, what would he do is a question. Now what we generally do, we do take up to some job. So we take up to some job, and if he's a sadhaka, he might sometimes take up to a job of, say, teaching in a college. Or I'm not telling the sannyasi will do that. I'm just giving you in general what we all end up doing. Taking up a job in a college, or do astrology, jyotisha. And this is a very popular profession. So he would be taken up to sannyasa, but for the sharira nirvartaka, if he's taking up to some astrology, then so all this some seva, not guru seva. Guru seva is exceptional. That is out of this examples I'm giving. So those kind of activities are not accepted for a sannyasi. They are not accepted. Okay, so what else would he do? So he has to take up to bhikshatana karma. He has to take up to alms, take up to. There are rules also for that. That is what we are going to see. Bhagavan is saying in one word, but we are going to see all the rules. Because even when taking up to a vritti of going and doing bhiksha, there's a shloka which says ayachitam asankluptam upapannam yadrichaya, because the shloka starts with the word yadrichaya. Ayachitam, suppose if you are going to go for a bhiksha and suddenly someone comes and offers you something, that is acceptable. You can have that. But that also provided the person who is offering, he has to be of, he should have earned that in a very legitimate way. He should not have earned it he should not have stolen it from somewhere. He should not have, put someone else in pain to give it to you. So all these rules are there. How would you know? So you have to be very careful. That is why I know one brahmachari is very popular. He's in Kashi, that Mahatma, and he is now around 60. He hasn't taken sannyasa yet. I asked him why. Swami Pratikbodanji also knows him. In fact, that is one sannyasi, one brahmachari I introduced to Swami Pratikbodanji. And Swami Pratikbodanji had honored him by asking him to give some talks on Panchadashi. He speaks only in Hindi. So one of the question which was asked was, Swamiji, we call him Swamiji. He's a brahmachariji, but we call him Swamiji. Why haven't you taken sannyasa yet? And he said, there is a Narada Parivrajaka Upanishad or some Upanishad or some text where it is described all the rules for a sannyasi. He said, after reading that, he said, he's a Kashi Mahatma, has not gone out anywhere other than Kashi and some other Kshetratna. He's saying that after reading the Upanishad, I don't think I'm yet qualified for sannyasa. That is what he said. So it's not an easy thing. So as I told you, ayachitam you can have, asanklaptam, asankalpam. He should not have a sankalpa. This person who is going for a bhiksha to maintain himself, he should have a sankalpa. This house, they'll be making this food today. Today is this day, and this place they are going to give this food on this day. So let me go there. Like that, he should not have a plan. There should not be a plan. He should naturally go to 5 or 7 houses and collect what is available, what they give. And anupapannam. What is the third one? Upapannam. Suppose if a devotee is there, see, so then asankalpam means no sankalpa, right? But suppose if a devotee comes and you know him very well and he or she says, you please come to our house to bhiksha on such and such day, then it becomes like a sankalpa, but that is acceptable. Although there is a plan when someone says that, please come on such and such day for bhiksha, it looks like there is a plan. Just now we said there should be no sankalpa, but this sankalpa you can put in your calendar. Yeah, because as a devotee calling, say Makar Sankranti, just now got over. Abhaye will feed you, will give you some dakshina and all that. That is fine. Or something, whatever it is, like that, some plan. In my house there's a function. My parents we are honoring, so please come. So those things are okay. So these kind of rules are there even for that. Sannyasi, Sharira nirvartaka karma matram. For that sake also, there are some rules to follow. And so how you would go about doing that? We'll see that in this shloka. And so that prapti dwaram, what all the ways he can do that, we'll see that in this shloka. We already saw that a little bit. But what else will be the vision of this sannyasi who is taken up to bhiksha? We'll see in this shloka. Bhagavan is saying in this shloka number 22, Yadricha labha santushtah, Yadricha labha santushtah, Dvandvatito vimatsarah, Dvandvatito vimatsarah, Samasiddhava siddhaucha, Krutvapi na nibadhyate. The highlight is when he's taken up to this kind of a bhiksha, Krutvapi na nibadhyate. That sannyasi is not getting bound in the samsara. There's not going to be a karma phala for this karma which is going to bind this sannyasi to samsara. So let us look at the shloka word by word. Edricha labha santushtah. Nice one long compound word. Labhena. Edrichaya we'll say. And we'll see the compound. What is the compound? Edricha labha santushtah. Labha edricha labha tena santushtah. Sanjata alam pratyeh. Tena santushtah. Edricha labha. Whatever comes with that he is happy. Edricha labha. What has come without his expectation, less or more, with that he is happy. So edricha means aprartita, without any prarthana, without any yachana, please give me, I need and all that. That kind of a yachana, that kind of a longing, without longing, whatever comes, he accepts. And alam pratyaya also. What is alam pratyaya? Alam pratyaya would mean he is content with that. He is content with that. Not that, okay, something came and he accepts, but then later on, not that he's going to express his regret. Oh, I only got so much. So alam pratyaya also goes along with, that is where the santushta word is there. Idricha labha santushta. He is happy. The person is happy with whatever he gets without any expectation. Then dvandvatitaha. That person is dvandvatitaha. Dvandva atitaha. Dvandva is pairs of opposites. Like what? Sitoshnadi. Sitoshnadi means what? Heat and cold. At the Sharira level, whatever pairs of extreme opposites, pleasure and pain, then we call Sukha Dukkha, right? Pleasure and pain. Mana Apamana. Mana Apamana is also there, right? Insults and some praise. This is also pair of opposites. And Mana Apamana, then Raga Dvesha. What is beyond all these pairs of opposites. Dvandva Atita means, yes, he has gone over, he has grown over these pairs of opposites. So that means what? Growing over means, it's not that you'll be in a place where there is no heat or cold, where the weather is, we eat that. Not that he'll go and live in Hawaii. Even if he's living in Himalayas, he is not affected by that. That doesn't bother him. He takes care of himself, but he's not complaining about all those. That doesn't make him lose his balance mentally. Then Vimatsaraha, very interesting word. Vimatsaraha, we'll see with the Bhashyam. Dosha. Macha, this macha word, in Tamil and I think in Telugu also, macham, that means, there is a mole, they say, right? There's a some mole or something in the skin. So if there's a mole, what happens if the other person has a mole? This person who sees it, he will not see any other thing. But if there's a mole somewhere here, his eye will only go on that mole. And the dosha darshana, the whole face is there, but there's a mole, and the eyes goes towards that mole only. That dosha darshana. Likewise, this other person might have accomplished something very genuinely, but this person is so jealous, he would point out the defects. So that kind of that is called matsara. Vimatsara means this. Our sannyasi, who's a jnani here in this shloka, he is free from all that criticism. He is free from criticizing others also in those ways. And we'll see that a little bit more about the Vimatsara later. Here we are just only translating all the words. And Siddhau, Asiddhau cha samaha. Samasiddhava siddhau cha, right? Siddha, Siddhau, Asiddhau cha samaha. Equanimity. Samaha means equanimity. And equanimity is like I always say it's a dynamic equanimity. What's a dynamic equanimity? It's not a static equanimity. So what's a static equanimity? Like the equanimity of an inert thing. A rock is inert, and it is also equal. So here, this person is a living person. So when there is a dynamism in his equanimity, what does it mean? In the sense that he recognizes the differences. Siddhi means, wow, accomplishment, I got this. Asiddhi, I couldn't get this. Now, for a sannyasi, why would he go back and talk about Siddhi and Asiddhi? Because Siddhi, accomplishment, and non-accomplishment, success and failure. Let us put it very simply. Success and failure is going to affect only an ordinary person. He is already a sannyasi. Why should we go back and talk about Siddhi and Asiddhi? Well, in the Bhikshatna, in whatever little, for the sake of his Sharira, whatever little he is doing, in that also, Siddhi and Asiddhi can happen. And more than that, he's a jnani. And suppose if people like us, who are sadhakas, who are in the pursuit, for them the Siddhi and Asiddhi can be jnana prapti. It need not be something in terms of phala, based on our likes and dislikes, but it can be the praptam of jnana. So that kind of a siddhi, asiddhi also is possible, right? Jnana prapti, antakarana shuddhi dwara jnana prapti. So taking up to something and working for the antakarana shuddhi, and working means what antakarana shuddhi is? Working for the preparation of the mind, and with the preparation of the mind, we want the self-knowledge. We want to prepare ourselves for the self-knowledge and accomplish self-knowledge. And so in that also there will be siddhi and asiddhi. This jnani is taken up to a very minimal activities. So in those minimal activities, there can be siddhi and there can be asiddhi also. So he's samaha, he's equal. Equal in the sense he understands the dynamic equality. What is that? Understanding the differences, appreciating what it is for, the siddhi, success and failure for what it is for. At the same time, is not affected. So they don't cause afflictions, pain in him. Okay, and elation also. So that is siddhi, siddha samaha. When this kind with this kind of a with this kind of a I won't say attitude, but this kind of a preparation, with this kind of a change within himself, because of the knowledge, what would that sannyasi, what would that sannyasi, what would it mean for that sannyasi to perform any karma? Krutvapi na nibadhyate. Even while doing, their karmas won't bind him. There's no binding. So how does karma bind anybody? Karma binds someone by giving papa and punya. So why? So karma, you do karma. Suppose somebody does karma for sake of a certain phala, then the phala, based on, say, suppose his own likes and dislikes, strong sense of likes and dislikes. We are going back a little bit, right? Because this is always good to remember. It's a simple sequence, but I want to say that sequence whenever I get a chance, so that way it stays in your mind. It's as simple as this. For the sake of phala, everyone does karma, but that phala, if it is that phala, if it is based on that phala akanksha, that desire for a phala, for a certain fruit, is based on our strong sense of likes and dislikes, then it is based on our moha, it is based on our ignorance, moha, and it might not be in alignment with what is right and wrong. So that phala, when you perform actions towards that phala, then there will be a siddhi and asiddhi of that phala, that fruit. And in the process, we might, if we are carried away by the phala and don't care about the means, we might pick up some papa. And suppose whatever may be the phala, if you try your best and you still want that phala, but you follow all the proper means, you may not get the phala, but you will get some punya. So you will see that punya and papa, how it binds? By giving you a sharira. What kind of sharira? A sharira which you may not desire in the next birth. Papa has got every papa and punya has a drishtapala and adrishtapala. Drishtapala is, when you do papa, people are not happy with you, and they will curse you, and at least they will put a prayer that something happened to you and all that, right? So that is all not good, right? So there's a drishtapala. Something might happen in this same birth. So we Hindus, we don't say everything happens only after birth. Another misunderstanding. We say drishtapala and adrishtapala. Something can happen now, but then what about something he deserves but which did not happen now? Then we provide the karma model saying it can be later. That's how it works. Now, drishta and adrishtapala. So drishta is what happens in this birth. Adrishtapala gets carried over. So this is the karma model. So this adrishtapala is what for papa? Adrishtapala for papa is always in terms of a sharira, which you may not desire. The next birth, it may be a sharira where you have to suffer a lot. Where this person has to suffer a lot. A sharira of an animal, a sharira of a pakshi, a sharira of a worm, insect, something which is crawling only in the drainage. Okay, I'm just giving all these examples to say. So this is all possible and this is how karma can bind you by giving some papa. bad karma can bind you by giving some papa. So if papa can give you a bad sharira, you fill in the blanks. What would punya give? What is the best thing you can get out of punya? The best thing you can get out of punya is a better sharira. So you don't expect moksha because of punya. Indirectly, punya helps in moksha because when you get a better sharira, you can focus more. You may have some privileges, and you may pursue knowledge in a better way. Your mind may be more prepared. All that, right? That is all possible. The punya itself, at the best, can give you a better sharira, and it can give you a sharira sometimes of a devata. Say, I don't think any one of us has done so much punya. And devata, even devata is what? It's a position, including Indra, the position. So once the punya is exhausted, that fellow will be coming down and coming down and picking up from wherever he left with another human sharira only, right? So what I'm trying to say is, just like papa can give you a nicha sharira which is very disadvantageous, punya can give you a sharira which is advantageous. That way, punya also will only bind you back into coming back and performing actions and playing different roles and keeping your titiksha and all that. Keeping your titiksha means what? Patience and endurance and forbearance and accommodation and all that. You have to again, all the values again. We have to go through all those values before we come to, say, Gita study or some other Shastra study and know about ourselves in reality. So that way, punya is also binding. So what was I trying to say? Krutvapi na nibadhyate. The last phrase in this shloka. So this person who is a sannyasi, who is a jnani, even if he is taking up to this bhikshatanadi karma, just for the sake of his sharira nirvartakam, still he is not bound. So that kind of a freedom. That is, don't you see that freedom is more appreciable, right? So here, I just wanted to say this word, vimatsaraha, is a very interesting word. That is the only word I didn't really cover with some detail. Vimatsaraha means the other person has accomplished something, and this person has a value for that accomplishment. In fact, he wants to get to the same position. He wants to come to the same limelight. But the other person has come before him or her, and to this person, he becomes the enemy of that person by trying to find some defect, and that difference in terms of time, he came to the top before I could come. That difference is creating in you an enmity towards that person. That is the vimatsaraha. So that vimatsaraha, that is the matsaraha. Vimatsaraha is this person who is free from that problem. That is the sannyasi jnani. See, some people when they take to bhiksha, there are, practically speaking, they should be happy with whatever little they get, and sometimes means for the sake of their health, even for health's sake. Really speaking, you don't need say if somebody gets only 4 rotis a day, okay, or 2 rotis a day even, that is actually good enough. It can keep him in good health. That person might live longer than somebody who's getting so much to eat. Sometimes what they do when they get the bhiksha, I've seen this, they come and they re-prepare that food. They would have gotten some watery dal, and they would then put some tadka in that and put some chili powder in that, all that. So when they re-prepare, sometimes they would have gotten only something and they cannot eat. They take with so much achar. Say, this all happens between sannyasis. They take so much achar with that burns the stomach, and this person is, whatever little health he had, he lost that also. Although he's only given to bhiksha, still all these problems are possible. So Swami Pratik Badanji Maharaj would say that in Rishikesh, especially there's a Kali Kambli wala, there's an ashram, and in that ashram, they have been giving bhiksha for the last 100 years or even more. I think that is the oldest ashram which is still giving bhiksha. There are other ashrams also. They're relatively new. So this Kali Kambli ashram, so one day they'll also give some sabji. These days they're giving some sabji. But usually for a sadhu, bhiksha would be, morning will be dal roti, as Swamiji would say. And afternoon it will be, or evening it will be roti dal. Or morning it is roti dal, and evening dal roti. This kind of so it's basically the same stuff, almost all the days. But still he's happy because he's getting whatever little energy. It's a very sattvic food. He's happy with that. When we were doing the course with our Puja Swamiji Maharaj, Swami Dayanand Saraswati Maharaj, also one of the section in the text, we will have to go and study in the Rishikesh ashram. There, one of the days, they will give us a kamandalu. They'll give us a balti, a small new balti they'll give for all of us. And we have to go walk up to the Kali Kambali ashram and stand in the queue and get the bhiksha there, just to get the feeling of what it means to be a bhikshu. So this person, he does that. Jnani does that for his taking care of himself. But the nishtha is there. What nishtha? What is the nishtha? What does nishtha mean? Nishtha means steadfastness, that sthirata, that that clarity is there in terms of knowledge that aham akarta atma. This is all this. This is not going to be affect me. That kind of a kartrutva abhava is there. Karma is there, but kartrutva abhava. Actions are there, but doership is not there. Karma is there, but kartrutva abhava is there. That is the action is there, but doership is not there. Right? That makes sense, right? And what else our Shankaracharya Maharaj is saying? For the sake of others, for the people who see, it'll look like this. He's doing some karma. I see him busy, and sometimes he's not busy. He's not doing much. I don't know what he's doing. So all these things, people who see, they make all these judgments regarding this jnani. And for them, he's like any other ordinary person. But in his own swadrishtiya, see, this is important. In his own vision, in his own mind, is very clear that these actions don't affect him. These actions don't affect him. See, actions, how would it affect? It affects my body, say, for example. That is painful sometimes. Right? It affects my body, or it affects my mind by giving. So it can affect my body. It can affect my mind by giving some thoughts, pleasant thoughts, unpleasant thoughts, and all that. Now, so that pleasant thoughts, unpleasant thoughts, I'm able to observe, and that observation is because of me. It is happening. All the cognition happens because of me, and I cannot be this body and also be cognizant of of this body. I cannot be the mind, and at the same time, I cannot be the one suffering pain and pleasure. At the same time, the one who is aware of that pleasure and pain, right? So that is what they call witness, right? So that way, this karma also does not affect me. And so it is according to Shastra. This understanding is totally according to Shastra. And kritvapi na nibadyati. The api shabda is there, right? The api shabda would mean what? Api shabda would mean kritva api. Even while doing. While doing is there. This is what is the beauty of our Advaita Vedanta, where we are talking about Jivan Mukti. Kritvapi. Right now, Jivan Mukti, and not even really doing something very different. Carrying on with your affairs in a very dharmic way. At the same time, you're free from all the afflictions. So as you know, Puja Swamiji always says, it is freedom from. It is not about freedom from something. It is about freedom while everything. Not that you'll go and do something, but when there is a when there is something which is going to affect him, even then he sees himself as Akarta Atma and free, and he's not going to be affected by the phala, in the way of getting bound and getting that sharira, as I told in the sloka. So just quickly translating, the one who is happy with whatever comes by chance, who is unaffected by the opposites, free from jealousy, and even-minded with reference to success and failure, is not bound even though performing action. So this is regarding sannyasi. Now, what about us? Because you may tell me that I have already spoken about you. What did I say about you? Or what did Bhagavan? I didn't say. What did Bhagavan say about you? About us? So Bhagavan said in the 20th shloka, karmani abhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Even while doing, this person, now I'm not talking about sannyasi, I'm talking about us. Even while doing, this person, the laukika karmi, who is doing all the role playing in the life, like role of a husband, wife, and parent, and child, and brother and sister, and student and teacher, professional and whatnot, right? Man and woman and whatnot. Every moment you play a different role, right? So this person, you have said that that person naiva kinchit karoti. Even while doing, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't perform any action. That has been told there. But what has not been told, would he also be free? What happens to him in terms of freedom? What happens to him? He's, him saying that, I'm not doing anything. I'm free from karma, even while performing karma. Him saying is okay, one thing. But is he really a mukta purusha? How does his mukti happen? Please throw more light on that. This is an example, right? There's a story which I think Swami Chinmayanji Maharaj or Swami Dayananji Maharaj have heard. So the story is regarding this person who takes himself to be a cat. So he thinks of himself to be a cat. So he is taken to the psychologist. Psychologists, they kind of work on him and make him see that he's a human being. You're not a cat. You're a man. You're a woman. Or he's a human being. So he's convinced. But before he steps out, he comes back and asks the psychologist, now I know that I'm not a cat. Would the dog outside in the street, would they also know that I'm not a cat? So this was his question he came back with. Likewise, this all of us, so even when we know that we are akarta atma, even when we see that because of this knowledge at some point, very clearly, you're all seeing that even now. That's a growing clarity. Okay, this growing clarity is one good thing. And so when this is complete, when this vision is complete, after this vision is complete, well, I'm convinced about my freedom. What is the Shastra saying about that? For this Laukika, for this person who is in the world, who is also sadhaka, who is a jnani now. So for that, this shloka is there. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasah yajnaya charatah karma samagram praviliyate. Samagram praviliyate. Karma samagram praviliyate. So for him also, just like in the last shloka, what did it say? What was told in the last shloka? Karma bandhai pramuchyate, right? Kritvapina nibadhyate. The bandhana is not there, told in the last verse. Likewise, now for all of us also, with a very assertion, it is told, samagram karma samagram praviliyate. The lina of karma, all the karma and karma phala, the lina will happen. There will be absolute freedom even while performing all actions. So that is what is being told in shloka. Gata sangasya muktasya. This gata is gone. What is gone? Sanga, asakti. That that bondage, that binding, the bond with the phala. with the phala in terms of what? Not binding with the phala in terms of what is a phala. In terms of, oh, this is going to be making me happy, or this is going to be making me miserable, and all that, based on your own likes and dislikes. So that has gone. Gata sangasya, that is gone. Because of that, is a muktasya, is a free person. Jnana avasthita chetasah. So for all this, what is the cause? Is jnana, is knowledge, self-knowledge. And jnana avasthita chetasah means what? This person is jnana, is sthira. In his cheta, in his chitta, in his mind, there is a sthirata, there's a steadfastness, there's a stability. Stability because of what? Jnana. Jnana se, because of jnana, this steadfastness is there. And then afterwards, we're all doing karma, right? So yajnaya karma. And when this person is ajnani, he was having total shraddha on Ishvara, as Puja Swamiji would said, as Ishvara is the order, is a physical order, is a psychological order, is a biological order, is a physiological order. That Ishvara, who is the one because of which this Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, and all this all this infrastructure in terms of karma is all possible. So that Ishvara, to him I offer this karma. This is my archana, Ishvararpana buddhi, and whatever phala comes, I accept it as prasada. So there's a yajna there. So there's a yajna. Yajna also you offer ghee and whatnot, and you don't even see the adrishta phala, but you are so happy just by performing that, and whatever comes, you believe the Bhagavan say aaya hai karke, that prasada buddhi is there. And now after knowledge, is that going to go away? After knowledge, after self-knowledge, this Ishvararpana buddhi and prasada buddhi is not, it's going to be more clear, it's going to be more natural, more spontaneous. And more happily you will have this prasada buddhi, more gladly you will be doing the offering karma. So this yajnaya, so that yajnaya, what the word in this shloka means, you will still continue performing actions like an yajna without associating to the abhimana, without associating to the dehoyam. Then what is that? Without associating yourself to me and myself only, and performing actions. That kind of a me and myself, that limited vision is not there while performing. And when there is a phala, there is a total acceptance. And so this is what is yajna karma. Yajnaya, the acharataha, when you take up to, acharataha means when you perform actions for the sake of yajna. Samagram karma along with all its phala. Samagram means all karma, whatever you perform, whatever results it's going to bring. Samagram karma praviliyate. Praviliyate means it is not going to affect you, and they will resolve, not dissolve, resolve. Karma phala and everything will resolve. It won't, just like in the last shloka, it won't, for this person also, this karma won't result in papa and punya. As I told in the last shloka, even punya is kind of a golden shackle. It's also going to be, at the best, it can only give you a sharira. So that kind of a problem is not there. And we are not talking about dying. So we are the only mata which says that the Jivan Mukti is possible, and we are not talking about dying and not coming back. That is not the question we are talking about. So we don't, even if you take several births for the sake of Loka Sangraha, even if this Jnani, for the sake of, even if for some reason, even if he's going to take another Sharira, another whatnot, it's not going to be affecting him, because not because of the what I should say, because of the he's not the bandha with the sharira, the sambandha is not there. He's free from the sambandha. Association is not there. Because of that, that freedom is there. So praviliyate. So this is what I want to say regarding this shloka. And anything else in the Bhashya? Let us see quickly. And so dharma. So here also the same message is given, where dharma and adharma Both are bandha karanam, and is free from all that because of his jnanam. So that message is being reflected in this shloka also. I will quickly go into the very important shloka, which is very popular also. And what is that? The 24th shloka. We may not be able to complete this shloka 24. We'll just get it started, and we'll come back after this. Now, one basic rule is shatai, varasha shatai api. Even if there is 100 years, 1,000 years, certain things won't get destroyed. We know plastic, they say it'll stay, it'll remain forever, right? I mean, for a long time. They say don't throw plastic because it can remain forever. Likewise, this karma phala also, it's going to, so one can argue that will remain forever. If this person is not going to take up that karma phala, who is going to take up the karma phala? So that is an expended when an action is performed at the expense of some karaka, at the expense of some means. Then that action is performed. Then the action has to produce a certain result. Who is going to take up that result? How is this result? Is how to look at this result as not going to be binding and not going to be producing any fruits. How is that possible? How to get that vision? What is the real change that is happening? So for that reason, we have this shloka by Bhagavan. What is the hetu? So this hetu is given because by this in the form of this shloka. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. See, the shloka we say, right? When we are eating, before eating, we say that in many ashrams. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi. Because here, the Agni is in the Jatar, in the Jatra Agni. The stomach, there's Agni also, right? So there that offering is happening and all that. So there also you see the action of eating is happening. Action of eating is happening, but that is being taken as a yajna only. And that becomes a yajna when you have the knowledge of Brahman. So the Brahman knowledge doesn't affect the final action. Because the prarabdha karma is there. So because of the prarabdha karma, the action will go on. So this is the one knowledge where we say your prarabdha karma can be there, but still you will be a mukta purusha. So that kind of a freedom this knowledge is given. With your prarabdha karma, you will still be free. That is the knowledge. But here, especially, how is that possible? That is being told. And arpanam brahma. I'm just going to the shloka. What is the shloka? Arpanam, Brahma, Arpanam, Arpanam. So what is Arpanam? Anena, Arpyate Anena. Then so that is the Arpana. What is being given? That Arpana Buddhi, that Arpana, that act of giving, Arpanam Brahma. Act of giving is Brahma. The means of offering is Brahma. Havihi, Brahma. Havihi is ghee and whatnot, puroda shadi, can be all that ingredients. Havis, they say, right? So, charu and all that. Those are also yajna, all the ingredients which is offered. Oblation is Brahman. And then Havi is oblation. Brahmagnav. And where is it offered? It is offered in the Agni. Agnav. Agnav is Saptami, in the Agni. And that Agni is also Brahma. That is why it's Brahma Agnav. The Agni, which is Brahma, and offered into the fire, which is Brahman. And Brahmana Hutam, who is offering? That's more important, right? The Karta, the person who does, he is more important. And even that person offered by Brahman, which is Brahman. And so that offerer also, Brahman. Brahmana Hutam. And Hutam means done, offered by Brahman only. Brahma Karma Samadhina. Brahma Karma Samadhina. Samadhina Tena Gantavyam. So that is the way you flip the word in the second line. Brahma Karma Samadhina Tena Gantavyam Brahmaiva. ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिना, ब्रह्म ब्रह्म होकर ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिना, ब्रह्म कर्म समाधि, उसमें समाधि. So let us see what is the translation here. So one who sees everything as Brahma, all the karma, all the offering. Samadhi. Samadhi is what? Samadhi is, the mind is, mind is established in something. Dhi is buddhi. Samadhi is, the buddhi is able to see clearly, is always, it's fixed on something. In the sense, it is fixed on a vision. It is not fixed on a static thing. It is fixed on a vision. It is very clear about something. It is as clear as meditating. That vision is as clear as though this person is meditating. Suppose somebody is doing puja. And is taking all the dravyas. Say for the puja, is taking the ganta, and then is taking the arti, and is taking some naivedya. So when he does all these things, I can say samadhi is in puja. The buddhi is a samyak. It is well established in what is called puja, although you'll be doing several things. Likewise, for this person, samadhi is of karma. All the karma, samadhi of all the karma, Brahma karma samadhi, all the karma in what is Brahma. In that there is a samadhi. All the karma are resolved in Brahma. For the one for who all the karma is resolved in Brahma, for that person, Brahma, because of that, Brahma karma samadhina, tena, because of that, gantavyam, he will be there, because of that, something will be reached. Gantavyam, praptavyam. What is that? That where he reaches is also Brahmaiva. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. So not that, when you have this Brahman attitude, you'll have Brahman attitude everywhere. And where you will reach for some, you'll get something, some very beautiful phala, very, very ecstatic phala and all that. That phala is also Brahman. So we're not telling that, we're not trying to, nicely, say something and then get something what we always desired even before this knowledge. No, that gantavyam, the praptavyam, that what is gained also in the process, that is also Brahma only. So this is the translation for this. This is the word translation. So if you want to translate as a, just running English translation will be, the means of offering is Brahman, the oblation is Brahman, offered by Brahman into the fire which is Brahman. Brahman indeed is to be reached by him who sees everything as Brahman. So we'll look at this. We know, sir, Sarvam Kalavidam Brahma, everything is Brahma. This I have been saying, maybe, or somebody else has been saying to you all the time, and this is all has been going on and on. But then here, all the karakas in the sense, what all you need for a karma is all being picked up and grouped, and then that has been connected to Brahman in a certain way, and then it has been told that how these karakas are different, karakas are there, but what is in reality is only Brahman. It is like showing a post which someone sees in the dim light and thinks it to be a thief. What you see as thief, it is nothing but the post only. And or say seeing a snake, what is there is only rope. What is there is only Brahman. Brahman means what? Satchit Ananda, Ananda Swarupa, that is there. So that we'll have to come back and see how this is different from just saying everything is Brahman. People say, they look at this shloka and say, everything is Brahman. That's what they're saying here. No, they're taking a specific case of karma and making us see ourselves as Akarta Atma. Very clearly they'll say. There'll be some discussion here in this section. Those discussions are the highlights which will bring out the message in this shloka for our own self-growth, which we'll come back and see next week. Thank you all for attending. We'll conclude here, and in 2 minutes I'll see you, most of you maybe, if not all of you, in the Bhagavatam session very quickly. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harih Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harih Om.